I do quickly want to go all the way back to the start of your journey, and sort of just touch a bit on your upbringing and why you actually chose the charities you chose. Just a bit more about you and how you don't have to go through everything, just whatever you're comfortable with speaking about, and kind of what got you to this point in the journey and why you do the rides for charity.
I mean, everyone from Luton will know me for the last 2 years, but I really started my fundraising in 2016. So my friend's daughter died of cancer, and so going back a bit, I used to do a bit of running. I did the London Marathon '97.
Wow,
that was the beginning of the end. My knees just couldn't cope, and I had to give up running.
Oh, so you've always been a mentality monster then?
Yeah, and so then I sort of got into cycling. Some says, "Oh, cycling's low impact; it will help." And I just wanted to sort of keep busy, and so then I sort of found cycling as a tool that I can sort of raise awareness and try and help charities that I'm passionate about. And so going very quickly, 2016, I cycled to every cricket county ground. So it's like 18 counties, like in 3 weeks. So that was where it all started, and I just thought, this might give me a tool to sort of like keep fit, follow my passions, and try and help some charities. So I mean, since 2016, I've raised about 34,000.
Jesus, man.
So, but yeah, most people that will be watching this podcast or that know me through Luton will know the last 2 years. So almost bring it forward to 2021. I sort of really struggled with depression. The lockdown really was in a dark place, and I was not the only one. A lot of people found the lockdown difficult. Sort of had to work from home and couldn't go to football, couldn't see people from football.
Just isolation.
And I was just like isolated, and I found it really difficult to cope with, and even leaving the house was just like a massive thing for me, and sort of had a lot of suicidal tendencies, and really struggled with just like doing day-to-day functions. And luckily through my work, they sort of recognised that I was struggling, tried to get me back in the office, and then recommended me to see a counsellor.
Do you recommend that for a lot of people who are struggling at home? Because a lot of people find it hard to speak to people. They don't want to speak at all. But I know you got a bit in the book where you say it's good to speak. Well, the first step of recovery is to speak.
I think the first step is sort of acknowledging that you're struggling. I mean, I've had periods through my life where I've struggled. I mean, going way back to, like, I was probably 17, 18 the first time. And back then, that was in a time of life where just man up, just get on with it. It's
so crazy as well.
It was around that time where, like,
pushed aside.
People, you wouldn't like to admit it was like seen to have a weakness, and you just tell them, man up, get on with it. Like, but obviously as the years have gone by, when I've sort of struggled, it's become more accepting. And through sort of like the last few periods where I've struggled, you sort of think you've been through it and you know the signs, and okay, I'll know what to do next time. But the best way to trying to explain it is you sort of cocooned, and it's almost like you're in a room and the walls are getting closer, there's no windows, there's no doors, and you sort of feel suffocating, and you're almost like lost in that moment. So you're not thinking well, for me, I can only speak on my experiences, and people might think, can't relate to it, think I'm talking rubbish, but it's just my experiences. And you don't think logically that, okay, well, this happened last time and this is what I did last time. And so I've sort of like struggled with low self-esteem, low self-confidence, just have a really low opinion of myself, and always like the perception of myself is way worse than sort of people's perception of me. So basically I just got to a point where I think the most important thing is to like recognize that you're struggling, And for some people, they can talk to family members. Some people, they can talk to friends. And some people, it's easier to talk to a stranger. But the most important thing is to talk to someone. And like one of the pictures in the book is it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And like even like if you have a friend that says, "Are you okay?" and they say yes, and it's, "Are you sure you're okay?" And then people might open up and say, "Well, no, I'm not feeling great." And but basically like, and a lot of, well, sort of virtually all the charities and all the fundraising, the awareness I do, I always try to do it for a mental health charity, because I want to get the message out there that nobody should ever suffer on their own. No one should struggle on their own. There is help available. And like I spent yesterday morning with Mind. I went down to the Wellbeing Centre, and just there is help out there, and no one should struggle on their own. And it all depends who people feel comfortable talking to. I mean, for me, the counselling was, they talked through aspects of my life that I'd sort of almost like blocked out and forgotten about, and sort of there was various trigger points that made me sort of think back as to why do I struggle, and what are the sort of trigger points. I mean, I refer to it as I'm on this journey. It's not a destination like, oh, I've got there, I've achieved, I'm okay now. You're sort of on this journey. There's potholes in the road, and you have periods where you have good days and bad days, but it's basically just trying to recognise those moments and have things like when I went through with the counselling, there's certain things that they did that helped me. One of them was like a gratuity chart, which basically, like, because I was so low on myself, it's just like to recognise you do things. I mean, like even putting rubbish out might sound like the most simple, easy thing, but just taking that step to go outside the front door, put the rubbish out, sort of, right, I've done that. And it's just trying to sort of like recognise that, making little baby steps. That's, and just making progress. So basically, sort of getting back to, so the fundraiser, I just wanted to sort of take the focus off myself and focus on other people. So like my passions for cycling and getting out cycling, getting some exercise, that also helped me, but also my passion for Luton. And I thought, can I do something that will just combine my passions, but also that might be able to help. So if I help one person that realises there's help out there by what I'm doing. I mean, the mental health is just one of the charities. So
Keith Hospice as well.
Yeah, so Keith Hospice, and Keith Hospice do a lot of unbelievable work for people with life-limiting illnesses, and people like at that stage. And it's not just them; it's the families that are having to cope with losing a member of the family, and they just do incredible work. So they supported me on the 21-22 ride.
Is that where you got the idea from? You got a bit in the book where you said, back in April 2022, it was my intention to cycle to the last away game at Hull to raise funds for Keith's Hospice in memory of young Ethan.
Yeah. So
is that like where the idea stemmed from?
Yeah, I wanted to do the last game, and then lockdown came and I didn't get to do it. And young Ethan was a little boy that lost his life and was cared for through Keach. Yeah. And Keach was like so supportive for his family. And James Collins, one of the Luton players, was sort of got to meet the family and basically, so I basically did a Watford pledge. Been Luton, we know how badly we love beating Watford. So I literally just did, okay, I'll do a Watford pledge. If we beat Watford, I'll make a donation. The minute of the goal and the shirt number, and that was 90 odd pound. And James Collins got the goal, and then he donated, and literally £1,400 was raised.
Wow!
Sitting on my backside, and just because the euphoria of beating Watford and obviously the charities, and that sort of got me known. Few people know me, and then sort of Harry Cornick came around my house, as he does, and I promised
just
him.
normal.
Yeah, it's like Stu, the media guy, says, "I just want to pop round," and like Harry Cornick said, it's like, this isn't happening. And I promised him I was going to cycle to every away game. It's like, that's it now. I can't.
Said it.
I can't get out of it now. I've promised, and then the fixtures came out. I thought, January, February, December. This is going to be fun. But yeah, and obviously another charity is prostate. I mean, obviously what Mick's been through. And Mick was so brave to sort of so selfless that he wanted to sort of let everyone know that and try and raise awareness basically. And I've had family and known people who've suffered with prostate cancer, and the biggest message is just to get checked. It's very quick, it's very easy, you can do it yourself. And like 1 in 8 men sort of at risk die of prostate cancer. And if you think like Kenilworth Roads holds 10,000, and I know that, yeah, I know it's not all of them are like a home game is not everyone that's at risk, but if you just do the numbers and just realise how many people are at risk, and just by getting checked, if you are unfortunate to be diagnosed, then you stand a better risk if it's caught early. And everything that Mick did was just so incredible that it raised awareness and it made people get checked themselves. And obviously the donations for prostate cancer help go to finding a cure and to research and just trying to raise awareness. So once again, I've supported prostate on all of my challenges since I've sort of got involved with the football club.